What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Not a Sheep podcast. My name's Narwhal. I'm here with my buddy Matt.
What's up?
And we're also joined by Jerome The Prince.
What is up? Thank you for having me, guys. This is awesome.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. Matt told me about your music.
A few months back when you and Adrian collabed on this
That's
22 project. Yeah. And you guys got a song that just came out right now, right?
Oh, yeah. It's hot. It's called No Losses. Look it up. If you haven't heard it, look it up. Usually I'm like, my music's all right. But this one, I'm like, woo. Just the beat, different. Everything about it. Love this song, seriously. And Adrian killed it like he always does.
So are there times when you'll have, like, release a single or maybe a song off of a project that you, I don't know, like, as an artist, you want all your stuff to just be top tier. But are there times, like what you just said, where you just know that this one is just hitting different and it's just next level?
Oh, yeah. And usually when you have that, at least for me, when I have that feeling, those are the songs that really do well. I remember, I don't know if you guys have heard my song Matrix with Jay Wright.
Yeah. Before
I put that out, I had a feeling in my gut. I was like, oh, man. I was like, something about this song it's just different. And, it blew up pretty good. I think it's at like 500,000 streams in a year.
Yeah.
So I consider that a success. So, yeah, it's just like a gut feeling,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, that's dope. I mean, since you and Adrian have worked together twice now, what's your guys' like chemistry kind of like working on songs together? Like, do you kind of know what to expect when you guys send each other a track?
Well, it's funny because I've been listening to him for a while, and he just randomly DM'd me one day back when I put out my song Zelda, and he was like, "Yo, I'm sleeping. This shit hard." I was like, "Bro, thank you. I've been a fan of yours for a while," and then. Out of the blue, he hit me up with Catfish. He was like, yeah, hop on this. And I was like, say less. And I hopped on it, sent it back. And I was like, I got to get him on one of my joints. So I've been sending him stuff. And he'll be like, this is dope, but like it's just not the zone I'm in right now. But when I sent him No Losses, he was like, oh my God. He was like, yeah. He got it back to me like a day. So
damn.
That's dope.
Yeah, what's it? I mean, you're at the size right now where you have, I think you have around like what, 250,000 monthly listeners or around there on Spotify.
Yeah, I mean, it fluctuates from 250, 350, 300. It just depends on the month.
So like you're kind of at the size now where do you get people that like you've been listening to for a while or people that you don't even know that are now like, hitting you up out of nowhere trying to get you on a song? Like, what's it like? Is it cool or is it sometimes annoying where it's like, man, I've been doing this for like years and you're just now like you're just now hitting me up because like now I'm getting a little bit bigger?
I mean, it's awesome. Definitely. Like Adrian was like a moment where I was sick, and even way back in the day, I don't know if you guys know Dylan Reese.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I knew him through Zero, who's now 936. And, even that was crazy because I'd been bumping him with Zero for a long time. So, yeah, I mean, it's cool because I know there's just so many artists. So when I get that moment of recognition, it's always a cool feeling, especially it's someone I like or I like their music or I think they're dope and they hit me up. It's like, oh, that's sweet, see, or that's sweet. And then I try to build that relationship from there, make some hits,
That's dope, yeah.
Who's an artist that like you haven't connected with that I'm not even talking like A-list celebrities, but like just another artist in kind of your genre that you'd love to make a song with at some point that you haven't got in touch with yet?
Oh, well, Logic.
Yeah.
It's Logic. I met Logic when I was 16. I was like a total Logic fanboy. Like he had this was like right when he put out Welcome to Forever, his mixtape. And I was like, I got there at like 10 in the morning. He didn't come on until like 9 at night. And I was front row. And I actually met him after his show. It was at some festival in this small town where I live, Macon, Georgia. And he told me to get this mic, all my equipment, everything. I was like, bro, tell me what I need. He was the coolest guy ever. And I'm kind of just waiting. It's like one of those gut feelings we were talking about. I'm just waiting for the moment that I reconnect with him and I could be like, look at everything I've done. Thank you for your encouragement, and maybe we can make, a slapper together. That'd be sick. That's the one thing. I'm just waiting on it.
That's dope. So was that kind of like, I mean, I'm assuming you were into music like at the time, but is that kind of the moment where you're like, I really want to do this? Like, this is the dream now.
I had been making music. I think I met him when I was 16. I started putting music out terrible at 14. And meeting him, it was kind of like a surreal moment where it clicked. It was like, oh my God. Because he was such a chill dude. It was like, you forgot he was like a celebrity for a second. He was like the homie. So it was like, I was like, this is so possible. That was the moment I was like, oh, I could do this. So from there on out, I was just going hard.
That's a really cool like spot in his career. I feel like to meet him at like Welcome to Forever, like right before the album and like right before like he kind of becomes like, now he's like Logic, the A-list artist, where it's like I feel like meeting him now would be like obviously insanely cool, but like it'd be different meeting him while he's still on his come up, you know?
He's dope, man. It was crazy because back then I think he was with Visionary, but you could tell it was still, he was in control, like pushing everything himself. So just seeing that drive in person, it was like, oh my God, it was like, this is how hard you got to go, but it's possible. So that's what inspired me, really. Moments like that.
And do you feel, in your opinion, like that inspiration from him has like rubbed off in your style, the way you make music, or do you try and like, do you feel like inevitably, since he's an inspiration, there's going to be parts of that like go into your music, or do you not like that idea that like when people say like, oh, you sound like whatever, like does that bother you, or are you like, yeah, like that is because he's a huge inspiration to me?
Yeah. When I first started out, I was like, it was kind of annoying because like everybody was like, oh, you sound like Logic, you sound like G-Eazy. I got a bunch, but I was like, I really sat back. I was like, well, damn, all these guys are like so dope. So if I'm sounding like them, I'm doing something right, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what I was listening to. So obviously when I'm in the studio, that's what I'm trying not to recreate, but it's just like in the back of my mind, like, the saying, you are what you eat.
Yeah.
You are what you listen to, I guess. But nowadays I'm trying to, whenever I'm working on an album or I have an idea for a song, I try to venture away from rap music, just listening to it, because I just want my full, what I can bring to the table to come out into the song without any outside influences, I guess. Trying to, perfect my sound, really.
Yeah. Are there any things you do like outside of music that kind of inspire you? Like a lot of guys are like really into movies and like watching film and like stuff like that. Does that kind of like fill you up creatively?
Yeah, I love movies, but definitely I'm such a nerd. I play hella video games.
Hell yeah. Wait, what are you playing right now? What's your game right now?
I just got the PlayStation 5.
Oh, nice.
I just beat Miles Morales, which was insane.
Oh, yup.
That game was sick. Talk about like the music. I don't know if you guys have played it, but I think they got Lecrae on the soundtrack, Jaden Smith, Cuddy's on the soundtrack, and it's in the game.
Yeah, the
soundtrack's
you're playing, dope.
You're sitting there playing it. You got headphones in. You're like, God, man, you get into it, dude. It's crazy. So I just beat that.
That's like it's kind of like the second one to the original, like, or not the original, but the other Spider-Man game that they released like a year ago or whatever.
It's like the sequel, I guess, because what happened in the first Spider-Man game, I don't want to spoil it, but it's a sequul. But it's so sick.
Yeah. No, I see that Star Wars poster behind you too.
Yeah, I love Star Wars too.
That's dope.
Yeah. Well, you were saying like how, you are what you eat and you are what you listen to. I have noticed even with myself, I don't even make music, but in podcasting and I've just noticed in my friends, like I say certain things and certain quotes and lines that I only say because people that I respect and listen to say them a lot. And I'm like, oh, I like what that means, or I think that's like a funny line or whatever. And everyone does that. So inevitably, like it's impossible to make music without influence from somewhere or something.
Yeah, all music is inspired from something.
Absolutely. Like just even mixtape Logic, he was so boom bap heavy. So obviously when I do a boom bap record, I'm like I could tell. I've just listened to so much like boom bap hip hop in my life. It's like if this beat's like, I'm like, okay, whatever. But if it's fire, I'm like, oh my God, like this sounds like something he'd be on, or I gotta slay this, like this is sick.
Yeah.
So just stuff like that.
I gotta ask before we get too deep into it. So your name now is Jerome the Prince, but a few months ago it was Jerome. So I
Yeah.
wanted to just ask you about like the name change, because that's kind of a big deal.
It was like I pulled the reason Jerome's my middle name,
Okay.
and I just pulled a Drake straight up. I was like, I can't go by Bradley, or Jerome just sounds harder, you know. So
Yeah.
at 14, I made the decision I'm gonna be Jerome, and I was like, you know what? There's tons of Jeromes out there, but I'm gonna be like Drake, and I'm gonna be the biggest Jerome. And
Yeah.
then
Right.
up until recently, I'm like, oh my God, you type Jerome in on Google and like a priest comes up, you know? So I'm like, I got to make a change. And there's
Yeah.
even other artists named Jerome. And literally, I hit up my guy who, at 1RPM, my distributor, who does all my stuff for me. His name's Brian. He's awesome. And I was like, dude, I got to change my name. And then literally, once we went through this, it was a hellacious process. But once it was finished, like, it was noticeable, people hitting me up on social media and stuff. It was just easier to find Jerome the Prince, and I chose the Prince because Prince is my favorite musical artist of all time.
Okay.
So just threw it on Jerome. But yeah, it was just literally to make it easier for people to connect with me, other than just the priest, you know?
Yeah.
It's a dope name though. It flows really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it sounded cool.
And if someone was to type in just Jerome on Spotify or Apple Music, was there other just Jeromes that would pop up before you, or would you be the first Jerome?
I think I was the second for a
Okay.
while. There's some like EDM artist named Jerome, and he's big, so he'd come
Okay.
up. But Lizzo put out a song named Jerome.
Oh yeah.
That was the end of it, bro. You couldn't find me. I mean, that was it. I don't know what the algorithm was, but once that happened, I was like, oh no, like
Yeah.
her whole discography is gonna come up before me on top of the other Jerome. So I was like, I gotta
Yeah.
make a change.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I think it's cool. And now there's definitely not another Jerome the Prince out there. That's for sure.
God,
So-
I hope not. Seriously.
That'd be a bummer.
I always wonder with like when it comes to choosing your name as an artist, that's a big deal, because that's what's so cool
Yeah,
to me
for sure.
about the gaming community and the music community is like you get to live by this alias if you choose to. Like you can be someone totally different in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And like Matt, like you just go by Matt Mogg,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of artists that just go by their name, but I don't know, it's kind of cool because you get this whole other persona you can be. Like, do you feel that when you kind of be Jerome the Prince, do you get to feel like you can kind of do things or be someone different in a way? Does that make sense?
That is an awesome question. I never got that. But actually, yeah. Not nowadays, but before, I'm 23 now. When I was 18, 19, I was trying to like put on a persona for my Jerome entity, right?
Yeah.
Or for lack of a better term. And I went by, like, my nickname was like Jerome the Villain, and I was just making like very hard, like wild lyric, just party records, and that was
Yeah.
like my entity I was trying to be. But nowadays it's like, not really. It kind of I'm just being myself, and Jerome the Prince. I mean, that's just me. But yeah, it's crazy you asked that, because I never thought about it. I've definitely have grown as a person, and just my view on how I want to present myself has changed for sure. I mean, my God, seriously, I was walking around with this oversized leather jacket because it was the only one I had, and I was pretty much like Jeezy Jr. straight up. I was just running around wilding out, making these crazy ass songs. But nowadays it's just more about and it comes from my supporters who have messaged me, like emotional records, and they tell me how much it means to them, and just seeing endless messages of that, it really opens your eyes. And it's like, it's definitely more than music, you know. I have power in what I say, so I can't just be rapping about stupid shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I have to say something and help people, because that's the power in my platform right now. So that's really how I'm presenting my new music, or coming out with my new music, just trying to make music that people can relate to more than ever, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's dope, because like I heard in an interview the other day, like with all the legends, like the one thing they all have in common is like they're honest with like what they're talking about, and it's like that's super
yeah.
dope that you're kind of going that way.
Yeah, for sure. I just think what's that one Drake song? Only brew music gonna last. All that fake shit or whatever that quote on. I think it was on Nothing Was the Same. Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to make the best music I can make, especially now that I'm 23. You know, partying days, all that shit that doesn't really matter is out of the way. Yeah. So now I'm just more tapped in on what I say and making good music.
Right. Yeah.
Do you feel that you kind of said that, like, you know, you get messages and you're at the point now where you want to make music that like matters and like has a message? Do you almost feel kind of a sense of responsibility that you have to? And does that ever, you know, bother you or get on your mind, this idea that like you have some sort of responsibility because you have listeners
that
now
look up to you,
that like you have to, like, because if you just wanted to make a song that like doesn't really have much of a meaning but it's just like a banger, will you still do that, or is that something where it's like, oh, you know, that's not like a meaningful song? That's something I've always wondered, like, as an artist, can they make whatever they want, or do you feel this obligation to
like
make
to
a certain
balance
thing?
it?
Yeah, kind of not. I feel like, and I mean, it just comes down to when I receive those messages and it's about certain songs. I mean, I even get messages about my bangers. Just they say, you know, it instills confidence or it uplifts their mood. So I guess it comes down to the songs that people really relate to are the songs I'm truly 100% being myself, opening up. And it just comes down to not necessarily a responsibility. Well, I guess kind of, right? It's my responsibility to be myself on my music, right? Because that's what people are listening to. That's what people like. So if I'm, you know, spitting some fake shit, I mean, even when I'm making a banger nowadays, I approach it differently. I'm like, God, what would sound dope? You know, like what would be hard as shit in the club? Nowadays, like especially No Losses with Adrian, I'm like, it's kind of an energy. It's like I got to feel the energy, and I want to say stuff that empowers the listener and just hypes up, you know, the energy when you're listening to it. Brings you out of a slump if you're in a slump. Or I'll have songs where it's just me on like a slow beat and I'm just being honest, and maybe one of my lyrics hits home with someone, and that's a responsibility, just being myself. That was that guy. You got some good questions, man.
Honestly, those weren't even some of the questions I wrote down.
Oh my God.
The best questions come when you're just having like a good conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like, I don't know, we try and do a little bit of research about the people we're interviewing before they come on, just so we know like a little background. But so you're from Georgia, right? You live in Georgia?
Yeah.
Now, like, Atlanta is a pretty...
That's a big rap scene.
Big rap city. So I was wondering, what's your journey been like being from Georgia and like, I don't know, in that community? Because I've never really been over there. So I'm just curious, like,
what's the rap scene like and where you're from, at least?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Atlanta's huge rap scene. Massive. I mean, might be one of the biggest. But I live 2 hours south of Atlanta.
Yeah.
And it is like, there's nothing going on here. I can't even perform. Like, there's not even venues.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID, my homie Dylan Reese, he hit me up. He wanted to come out because this was like 2018. I have never performed. I went on my first tour in 2019. He's like, bro, you got to perform. Let's book a show where you live at. I can fly out. And I was like, oh, bet. We couldn't even find a damn venue, like, other than Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
So
did you go up and perform in Atlanta?
No, we were like, bump it, bro. Like, screw it. Like, I don't know my I don't know my audience there.
Right.
At least if it's hometown, I can bring some people out, right? But there ain't no one here. I mean, it's just everything I've done is I'm on my Gambino shit because of the internet. Seriously,
right.
Like, it's crazy out here. It's terrible. Yeah. But we're moving soon, so. Well, we're going to be in Georgia. My fiance is a nurse. She just got a job, or she starts in March in Savannah. I don't know. Not a hip-hop area, but it's definitely cooler than this.
Yeah.
But, you know, love my city. Rep it. Warner Robins. It's small.
For sure. Wait, so you had never even performed a live show until you went on tour?
Yeah. My homie Michael Waves, who's a great artist as well, if you don't know him. We went on, like, it was just like a small 5-city northeast. Like, it was Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Philadelphia, his hometown of Lancaster. Or, oh my God, I butchered it. Lancaster. I keep calling it. Yeah.
That's in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah. I think it's Lancaster. But when you're there, they'll butcher you if you call it Lancaster.
Is that like
it's got like some,
Louisville?
it's like Lancaster or something like.
Yeah.
I'm like, so when I was on stage every night I was like, "What's up, Philly? What's up?" I didn't even say the name. I just like, "What's up?" Yeah, I didn't want to get booed right when I came out, right? So, yeah, we did a small 5-city tour up there, and that was dope. But that was my first time performing, and it was 2019, and I've been rapping for so long. So it was kind of like a bird. I was like, I need to perform. Like, I got to do something. So when that opportunity came up, I hopped on it, and that was awesome.
What was it like to do your first show?
That's a big step.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. I feel like, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of artists kind of work their way up where like they're doing shows for like 10 people and then like, and then they slowly get bigger and bigger. But like,
that's cool to just like jump
right in when you already are on like a 6-city tour.
Yeah, no, it was dope. And I mean, these were definitely small crowds, small venues. It was like dive bars.
Yeah.
But I always talk about it. I like that better because it's way more intimate. Like, you ask a question to the crowd and you can actually hear people's responses. Like,
yeah,
it's just cooler, right? And you get to meet everyone. But yeah, I always get made fun of, my fiance and our friends, because first show of the tour, I was nervous as hell, and it was in Philadelphia. And I ain't gonna lie, got a little drunk. And that night, it was just, I think I got like 70% of my lyrics off, but it was just definitely me. I was just, turn the shit up, let's go crazy, But it was just like beginner nerves. Yeah. So next night and the rest of the tour, I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, this isn't bad. And I was just killing it, and it was a great time. But Philly will always be in my heart. It's the one show. I was like, oh my God, I'm about to go on at 8:40. Let me get another beer,
Yeah. Damn, so your first show ever, you kind of like bombed?
I wouldn't say my fiance's behind me. She might disagree. I didn't bomb, but I was definitely like, there was this one point where I just randomly yelled after a song. I was just like, Ash, got it! Like Lil Pump, right?
Oh, no.
That's so funny.
She just laughed. But, yeah, I mean, I was nervous. I ain't going to flex. But after that, it was awesome.
I think that energy is for a first show is better than like, I don't know, being reserved and kind of like scared. Like that's, I don't know. I think that's a better natural instinct.
That was, my natural instinct. Just attack it, right?
Yeah.
Attack the fear. Maybe I attacked it too much. Maybe I attacked the bar a little too much. You know what I'm saying? But everybody had a good time. So that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like as a performer, there's probably a fine line between, like when you go on stage, there's probably a bit of being intoxicated that could help sometimes. Like if you're a little drunk, it could make your show way better. But then if you get a little too drunk, that's when things get a little, not so good.
Yeah. I mean, rest of the tour, I mean, it was always a good time. And everyone that was part of the touring group, I mean, we were just having a great time. So, I mean, we were drinking the whole damn time. But nothing like the first night.
Yeah.
But every time I went on stage, I was like, all right, can't have a Philly repeat, Yeah. Maybe just a few, and work on getting my lyrics out, right? And all the shows after that were great. I mean, the one in Pittsburgh was awesome. It was like, I can't remember the name of it. Maybe the Smiling Moose.
Okay.
That was the name of the venue. And I mean, it was like maybe 80 people in the crowd, 70 maybe.
Yeah.
But it was just like a very narrow room. Like, my God, it was hot, bro. Like, they needed some windows or something. But the energy was awesome. It was sick.
Yeah. And so are the people there at these like dive bars, like they came to see you, right? Or was it like,
I mean, it was all ticketed
Okay.
shows, with flyers, the whole nine.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's
it was
dope.
just the dive bar we were performing at.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a certain energy about those like small shows that is like super dope. Like I saw Adrian and Justin Stone down in Phoenix at like a small bar, and there was like,
I bet that was crazy.
yeah, it was super dope. And it's like Justin's been doing shows for a while, and so you can just tell he's kind of like got it down, and like he's got a certain like energy, and like those small venues are just
He's
like
sick.
you feel so connected.
Yeah, he's a pro. He's dope as hell.
And I feel like with artists that are, on the come up and performing at shows of that size where it's like, 80 to 100 people or something, most of the people that are going to go out of their way to come see you are probably pretty big fans.
Yeah.
As opposed to, if you go to like a Russ concert, there's going to be thousands of people that don't even really care that much. They're just going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like it must have been cool because you got to probably meet people that,
Oh man, this was awesome. Sorry to interrupt, but
no.
Shout out. His name's Jose. He's a fan, and him and his dad drove from Detroit to the show in Toledo, Ohio. And
Dang.
that was so
God.
sick. I brought him on stage, and that was sick. And the next night, in the Cleveland show, they were there again, and they brought his mom came along too. So the whole family was there, and they were driving all over, coming to all 2 of my shows, not all of them. But that was like one of those moments. It's like, oh my God. So obviously, brought him back up on stage, hung out with his dad. He was dope.
That's pretty cool. You had like your Logic moment, but this kid was like having that with you kind of in a way.
It's like a full circle thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was my fiance said it, and she said that, and that kind of really put it in perspective, and I was like, wow, that's crazy to think about, because obviously I don't even think I'm nowhere near that level, but the fact that someone does, that's like crazy, so that full circle was a good way to explain it.
Yeah. Well, that's what's so cool is like when we get to interview, artists that we listen to for the show, you get to realize that, even if someone has like 1 million listeners, I don't know. I felt like before the show, I had this idea that they're like, for some reason, like different, but it's like they're just a person that just makes music and has listeners. It's like they're still just a normal dude.
Right, yeah.
And for a lot of people, that's hard to kind of grasp, I guess.
Yeah, because, well, I agree. I think nowadays it's a little better because the whole, like, rock star vibe of the 80s, it's kind of fading with social media, right?
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, I even think the same thing. Like, if Logic hit me up right now, I'd squeal, bro. Like,
right.
Straight up.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your album Off the Chain that came out. When did it come out? A few months ago?
It came out. When the hell did it come out? It was the sloppiest rollout of an album ever. It was November 29th or 27th or something.
Okay.
Yeah, November.
Okay, yeah. So I just kind of wanted to, I don't know, since it's relatively new, I just wanted to talk to you about, the making of it, the idea behind it, what was the inspiration for it, all that type of stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so Off the Chain, I wanted to, first of all, like, nowadays it's hard, but I'm such an album guy. Like, I would rather lock in and make an album versus, single. But unfortunately, just how music is now, you kind of have to do single. Like, so you got the Russ album, the Russ approach, right? Everyone's going to listen to the first song of the album,
right,
but not the rest of the album. So why don't you just give them one song, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I rolled out the album. I did one single until I put all 10 singles out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I did my name change in the middle of it.
Oh.
So that's why it was the sloppiest rollout ever. And like I have like 18,000 followers on Spotify, and I put out like 2 songs and 18,000 people didn't even get notified. So it was just like, so I kept pushing things back.
Was there kind of like a glitch with like the algorithm or something?
Yeah, absolutely. So shout out to my guy Brian. He had to hit Spotify up, and for a while they're like, there ain't nothing wrong. And they were like, oh, there's something wrong. And then eventually they were like, oh, yeah, you're right. There's a glitch. My bad. Everything's good. And then from that point on, everything went smoothly. But, yeah, Off the Chain, I just wanted to make, and you could tell by the album cover, I just wanted to make the most me album I can. So I just sat in a chair in the backyard with a beer, some slides, toes are out, gotta let them breathe. Just wanted to make it as me as possible. So I slapped on this cool NASCAR shirt I found at like a thrift shop, toes out, sandals, grabbed a beer, and my fiance took the pic, and I was like, that's a cool looking cover, and slapped that on. That's the album cover. And then the 10 songs, I kind of just took it, and this was new. I didn't like tap in and make like a full project. I kind of just took it single by single, and that's what composed the album, and that's how I was releasing them. But I think as a whole, you know, the whole idea of Off the Chain was it's just some dope shit, you know, like every song I look back and I listen, I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool, you know, so I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
That's dope, because the thing I liked like listening through the album was like it kind of just starts, like it just goes right from the jump, like it just, there's no like wasted time, it's just right into it.
Yeah, I mean, first song is Heartless Now, banger. Bread and Butter, banger. Off the Chain, the song, I got my homie Conscious on it. I don't know if you guys know him, he's sick. He's super sick. I've known him for a while. I heard that beat, I was like, oh my god. I was like, this beat is insane. So I recorded it instantly. He got it back to me in a day. And then, well, the funny story with that song is, sorry, I ramble. That's what I do.
No, that's what we want.
He sends me the verse, right? Me and my fiance, we're at Siesta Key, the beach in Florida, and all I have is my laptop, no headphones, nothing. And he sends me the verse back, and I was like, damn, because the quicker you submit to these stores, the more chance you got for like playlisting on Spotify, stuff like that. So I'm like, well, he got me my verse, the song's pretty much done, I recorded everything I'd need, so I need to get this submitted. So I'm sitting there mixing this shit on a laptop, just MacBook speakers, bro, and I'm like, oh no, while my fiance's getting ready because we got a dinner reservation. So I'm sitting there mixing it, and you know, it sounds like shit, and I'm like, oh my god, hopefully this sounds good, right? It ended up where everything worked out. Sounds good on Spotify and stuff.
Whoa, so that's the final version.
Yeah,
you mixed it on your laptop in like a hotel room.
Yeah, literally. I'm like, oh my god. But I was like, no time like the present. So I just drank some beer, knocked it out, right? Tapped in. But nah, it turned out awesome. I can't even remember the songs. My favorite song on the album, I'll say, is Come Up Crazy with Dylan Reese.
Okay.
That song, I mean, that is crazy. That's one of those songs I listen back just from the mix, because I listen to my music literally just to dissect my mixing. I'm like, God, that thing slaps. That's probably my favorite song on the album for sure.
Yeah. So do you do all the mixing yourself?
Yeah, I mix and master my all my stuff.
Okay.
That's
and then
cool.
what producers do you work with? Like, do you make your own beats, or do you work with? Is there like a certain guy that you work with a lot, or?
I actually just work with. I mean, I work with a bunch of producers.
Anyone?
My go-to whenever I have writer's block though is Syndrome.
Oh yeah.
He's a madman. Whenever I'm like, I need a beat, that's who I go to. I've been using a lot of beats from a guy named River Beats. He's sick. He's who produced No Losses with Adrian. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just stumble upon whoever I find and whoever I could build connections with. And also I'm signed now to 83 Audio. Or 83 Sound, sorry. 83 Sound. And Cook Classics is the producer in-house there. And he produced like High Hopes by Panic. He's produced for Lil Wayne, Beyonce, and every time he sends me a beat that we're working for the in-label records, nuts, like seriously insane. Like the beats are so good. I'll send him my stems. I'm like, I can't mix this, you know, like my vocals. Like you need to get someone to mix this, because if I send it back and it doesn't match the talent of how good the beat sounds, like I'm not the one, right? I'm not gonna be the one. So he's probably my go-to right now for sure.
Yeah,
that's dope.
I was talking to Matt a couple weeks ago. What's super interesting is like, since I've grown closer with Matt and like learn more about music and how he makes it and everything, like you can really tell a lot about like an artist based on the mix. Even like you can just tell an amateur sound versus a professional sound, and like a lot of times the only thing differentiating them is like how well it's mixed in a lot of ways.
Yeah, because I mean these days like Kanye West can record some songs on his album on his phone, and because he has such good engineers, like they can make that into a really good sounding song. And so like the mix is like more important than ever.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, just because I feel like, especially in hip hop, it's very saturated. There's so many artists, and you can quickly tell who is reinvesting in themselves and is going the extra mile to get something sounding better than people who aren't, you know? So the mix is honestly that's the difference between like tiers, calibers, you know, in my opinion. It's like, obviously it's the most important thing. And I didn't want to I wanted to learn how to do it myself, and it took like years to even get to where I am now, and I'm by no means even good, but compared to some of these people who just understand it, like when they're looking at EQ, hertz, like, or they could just hear it, they'll be hearing something on like the TV and they're like, ugh, it's too harsh. It's like, like, oh my God. But yeah, mix is like the most crucial thing, seriously, nowadays.
Bro, this is like kind of unrelated, but I just remembered this and I had to talk about it on here. I saw there's this YouTube channel. I forget the guy's name. I'll have to look him up after the show and I'll like put it on the screen. But there's a guy, and I didn't even know this was a thing, but he has this thing called Perfect Pitch.
Oh yeah, Perfect Pitch.
Which I'm sure you guys are aware of, but it's like a thing where it's like photographic memory, but for music.
Well,
so,
it's like you hear a note and you like it doesn't even have to be like a piano or anything like that. Like I could just like make a noise and you would be like, oh, that's D sharp.
Yeah, and he goes on Omegle and he makes these videos where like he had in his brain he has catalogs of just thousands of songs that he knows them by heart because he has perfect pitch.
Well, Chase from Not Alone that came on the show, like he has perfect pitch.
Yeah,
it's
bro,
ridiculous.
It blew my mind because even songs he doesn't know, he'll go on Omegle and it'll be a random person and he'll have a sign that says, tell me a random song to play. And they'll just say some song he's never heard of. He'll like Google it and he'll play the first like 4 seconds of it and he'll hear it and he'll be like, okay, I got it. And then he'll just play it on his piano perfectly after like a few seconds.
What in the world?
It is the coolest talent I've ever seen. It is
like
insane.
God tier. No, that's like that's seriously crazy. I'm gonna have to look. What's his name?
I forget. I'll text it to you and I'll put it on the screen for the people listening on YouTube. But I can't remember. But it's just insane. And I was just wondering, like,
wow,
he doesn't rap or anything. He just like plays the piano and like he plays different instruments.
I wonder if that's something he's just always been able to do, or if it's like he really like tapped in and listened to a shit ton of music and.
Yeah, I think it's just like a gift that
perfect pitch.
Yeah, it
is
might
like,
have to. Yeah, it might be. I mean, I don't know how you can even like just teach yourself that. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, people with perfect pitch are usually like raised around like musician parents and stuff like that. So like Chase has perfect pitch and his brother has perfect pitch, but his brother doesn't play any instruments.
Oh.
So it's really weird. So he like can find notes, but he doesn't play instruments. But Chase does. So like he could kind of do something similar where he'll hear a song and just play it.
Yeah, I've heard of like stories where if someone has perfect pitch, like their friend will just call them up and like be like, hey, what note is this? And they'll just play it real quick and just over the phone he'll just know like right away.
God, I need his number because whenever I'm throwing that auto tune on, I got to figure out the pitch of the beat, right? I'm gonna just text him.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering like if that guy decided to rap
or like make beats. It's just like your 808s would never be out of tune.
Yeah,
like, stuff like that happens all the time
constantly.
Now.
Yeah, jeez. That's so cool. I didn't even know that was a thing. I never even heard of perfect pitch.
Yeah, me either. But so you said you work with, really anyone or any beat that you find you like, you'll work with any producer really. I think that's really cool. So like if someone is a listener of yours, let's say, and they just DM you and they're like, "Yo, I made this beat, like check it out." Will you do that? Like, have you made songs with beats from just random people that send them to you?
Yeah, my homie Dave Rio, he's been a listener for a while. He just sent me a beat one day, and I made my song Red Eyes to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, if I hear a beat that I like, of course I'm gonna use it. Plus, it's one of the most valuable things for artists, especially at my level or just any level, is networking. Like, it's never bad to have. Like build a relationship with someone, right? So any chance I can, anytime I hear a beat that I like, I'm gonna use it. It's a good beat,
Yeah.
Especially if they send it to me, I'm like, oh, this is it could be my beat now, because reusing.
Well,
beats.
It's cool because, like you said, like when you grow up in a place that's not a big city and don't have a bunch of access to all these different music things, like it's just so cool because. 30 years ago, you might not have even been able to make it as a musician if you grew up in like not a big music place.
Like you'd have to move, yeah.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's so cool.
Me and Dylan Reese talk about this all the time, how like lucky, we are to be doing this now versus 30 years ago, because the opportunities now, just because of the internet, is insane. Like, people, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. You make your living off the internet. Literally just, I make all my music in my bedroom, mix and master it, throw it up, people enjoy it, and that's what I do. It's awesome. It's actually crazy to me if you really think about it.
Yeah. How much, so you're signed now, right? So you're no longer independent.
Kinda. It's right now, I don't know how much I can get into it, but it's like, it's music for sync. Like, my songs will be on like Monday Night Football music. I'm making music for media essentially, and it will also come out on Spotify and stuff like that, but it's not like I'm exclusively signed. So I'm like,
you're still in the
independent technically. Just got something nice in the works.
Yeah, for sure. So like, how much of your time is spent on things outside of music, since you're kind of like independent, trying to do this on your own? How much time do you spend,
merch,
marketing, like branding, that type of stuff?
That's a good question. Merch is, oh my God, it takes a lot of time, especially and it shouldn't, but like right now I did like off the chain merch exclusive for the album, and I have physical CDs, and people have bought the physical CDs. That was no problem, because I just bought the CDs. They came packaged. In fact, I'll send y'all one if you text me somewhere to send it.
Oh hell yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But those came packaged. Just throw them in an envelope, and I always sign them, and I write a hand note, throw stickers in, just extra, that's just important, and I sent it out. But these shirts, dude, because it's over here, you probably can't see it by my TV, but I bought a heat press, right? So
so you're literally doing it.
I'm in here pressing these
Dang,
shirts,
bro.
And for some reason, I got the worst. My printer is ass. Like, it's completely buns. It doesn't work. Even when I'm printing a label, it looks like crap. It's a shadow appears for some reason. And literally, I was selling merch bundles where you get this off the chain shirt, CD, stickers, all that.
Yeah.
That's everything shipped but those. I'm working on those right now in case someone who's ordered one is listening. It's coming.
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally doing that after this. I got to figure out how to print, because I get these transfer sheets or vinyl, because we have a Cricut cutter. I mean, we're in here DIY max value, max potential DIY in here making these shirts. But yeah, merch takes a lot. I don't know if I'm going to continue even making my own merch, because it is crazy. I might reach out to someone and just do like pre-order drops. Like, it takes a lot of time. And then marketing. I will say, and this is interesting, and I don't really do a lot of marketing. Last time I've only paid for a playlist placement once, and I was like, oh, this is a ripoff. Like, so as far as marketing, other than when I drop a video and I just push it on social media, that's really what I do. Because, and this is such a horrible method, right, to some, but Syndrome, the producer, he told me a long time ago, he was like, it's when he produced my song Faded, and that's easily one of my biggest songs. Mm-hmm. And he was like, so what'd you do for marketing? I was like, I don't know, bro. I just put it out on SoundCloud. And he was like, damn, that's crazy, but it makes sense. Good music promotes itself. Yeah. And I was like, wow, but obviously I need to throw my shit on like Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that. Right. So, yeah, but I kind of live by that in a little bit, if that makes sense. 'Cause just people I've met, especially the more like I grow, people are just weird, like some shady people throwing some bullshit at you, and then after you see it happen, you're kind of more aware, like, oh, this clown is DMing me about his $4,000 promo where he's gonna get me 1 trillion subscribers, right? So
yeah.
But yeah, definitely market yourself if you're listening and you're an artist, but just don't market with the wrong people, if that makes sense. That's my advice.
Yeah,
for sure.
And like, you obviously, you have a system down and it's working for you. So like, if it's working, why change it? But like you were saying, good music markets itself. I think that also goes the other way, where like you could spend $10,000 promoting a song, which I see some people on Instagram, I can just see some ads that pop up and they have like 3 million views on this Instagram ad that they clearly spent a lot of money on, but like
the song's not
if it's not good, like it's not going to work that well.
Yeah, like marketing is just getting it in front of them so then the people can then, if they like it, take the step and listen to it. Like they're not going to listen to it because you spent money on it.
Yeah. The thing, and I always have to remind myself, it's like as an artist, you're like, how did I discover my favorite artists? And it's like, oh, I just stumbled on their music video. It's just or true growth is organic. I feel like when you're putting, I'll throw in I'll throw $5 on an Instagram ad for a video just to get the algorithm up, so maybe it'll reach like people organically. I don't even know how it works, dude. I'm terrible.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget when he told me that, because I was like, if I'm making the music I need to make, it will be heard. That's just what I tell myself, and something's working. Kind of. Yeah. So, and just with marketing, important, just in case there's other upcoming artists listening, networking, like I said earlier, is huge. Like I've done collabs with Promoting Sounds and just other artists, and those are through the roof, get more ears, the better, right?
Yeah. How big have those, well, first of all, you were saying, when you look back and try and think on how you found an artist, there's almost no artist that I listen to that I can say like, oh yeah, I found him through an ad.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary because like I do a bunch of ads for like my podcast stuff and it scares me. But like with music, you're right. You usually find your favorite artist through like the most random thing. Like I remember,
like word to mouth, just like someone telling you this artist is dope.
Yeah. Like I remember I found Jack Harlow in 2016 or maybe late 2016. He dropped like Dark Knight.
Me too.
A music video.
My homie in 2016 was like, yo, check this out. And he sent me Dark Knight. And I've just been bumping him. Like that's how it happens. Like
I was in college and I watched a music video and it was just a recommended video on the side and it had like 80,000 views. And I was like, damn, this guy's kind of fire. And then I just listened to him ever since.
Yeah. So that's why, especially when people ask me about marketing, I'm like, I'm not the guy, because I don't got nothing to tell you other than I don't even know if it works. Like if these ads are really doing anything, because of anybody who's hit me up and they've told me where they've heard my music, it has never been from the IG ad, so
right.
It's just,
how did you start to kind of
gain your following? Yeah.
Well, few times. When I was 18, I put out a song called "Play This at Your Party," and my homie Albert, he still is. He's a YouTuber. He had like 500,000 subscribers, and he played a game called Skate 3, and he filmed a video, and he just promoted it on his channel, and that was my first taste of success at 18. So, but nothing really. I still have fans who've been with me from then, but that wasn't, the big break. I feel like I put out a song called Top of the World, and Promoting Sounds and a bunch of the YouTube channels picked it up, and that was on my very first album, not Off the Chain, By Any Means, and then Faded, and then Let's Rage. It's just been a long time. I don't know. I can't really pinpoint a time where everything was like, oh, this is it, right? It's just one thing did better, one thing did good, one thing did great, and I'm just here. Like I haven't had that smash
big
hit
break.
I haven't had that what's popping, but it's just songs doing better over time, and just people, I guess, word of mouth, hearing about it, checking it out, or it comes up. Spotify's great. I know Spotify gets a lot of flack, especially when it comes to paying artists, but they really, the radio or release radar, the playlists that they have really help nowadays artists getting discovered, because people will just find me on like, check this out, like Spotify playlist, like check this out, and then one of my songs are in it. So just the internet, keep pushing, keep dropping content.
I saw you said you also do gaming videos, right?
I try. I have a channel with 5 videos, and they're
hell yeah, baby. Let's go.
I want to get into it though, because I feel like besides music, I love video games, and that's just fun, making and editing. It's almost like a refreshing it's refreshing to do when I'm not killing myself making music, right? I get to play video
Yeah.
games, and then I still get to be productive and edit it and stuff like that. So it's something I want to pick up next year for sure. Like really try to
Yeah.
get that channel growing.
What's the channel called?
It's called Jerome Stinks.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Stinks with like a Z?
Nope, just Jerome
Aw,
Stinks.
damn.
I missed
Okay.
I missed an opportunity. Nah.
Uh,
I have like a few videos of me playing Smash on there.
hell yeah.
Because I like Smash, but
Yeah. No, I used to like for probably 4 or 5 years in high school I made a shit ton of gaming videos, and then that eventually just transitioned to like podcasting stuff. But like
that's
bro,
dope.
the thing is like gaming connects with every community in like the world. Like almost everyone likes some type of gaming.
Wasn't Logic's come up like very heavily like influenced by like FaZe, like using his videos and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
absolutely.
like he blew up because like FaZe and a lot of his mixtape music wasn't copyrighted, so people would use that in YouTube like montages and stuff. And then Logic has his YouTube channel. He streams on
Right.
Twitch. Like gaming transcends everything almost, which
Yeah.
is really cool.
I think, and I mean, I think that something can back this up. I think it might be the biggest, like, just of anything. Like, it's bigger than movies, bigger than sports.
Yeah, it's like bigger
I mean,
than sports.
Yeah, it's huge. And I can't remember who told me this, but if you look up like the value of Star Wars as a franchise, and then you look up Pokemon as a franchise, Pokemon is like 10 times bigger than Star Wars. And I was like,
Damn.
Insane.
I was like, what? I was like, are you kidding
I'm
me?
like, Star Wars isn't the biggest thing.
I was like, yes. I'm like, my God. But it just goes to show, like, gaming is huge.
Yeah. Well, and Pokemon, bro, they figured it out because they got the movie, or they got the shows, the video games, and the trading cards that are all
my homie.
popular.
He is huge into flipping these cards, dude, and he's making good money. Well, you know, he's showing me his profits, but I don't know how much he's putting into it, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, my God, dude, you go to Target, and I just look because my homie's into it. There's nothing on the shelf, bro, or
Yeah.
anything that's worth getting isn't on the shelf these days with these Pokemon cards. It's so funny.
Yeah, well, just in the last couple months, because of, I don't know if it's Jake or Logan Paul, one of the Paul brothers started opening them again, like doing pack openings.
Yeah.
And it's just like had this huge resurgence now where everyone's trying to find like the $500 Charizard.
Oh, really? That's what started it. Wow.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
a couple months ago, like he did it on his podcast, and ever since then, everyone's been like, I've just been seeing a ton of pack opening videos on YouTube recently.
Yeah.
The value of these
Um,
cards, and it was so funny. I gave all my Pokemon cards away to,
Yeah.
you know, I was like, these things cost money, and it'll never be worth anything. And now I'm a clown.
There was a time when like some of my buddies gave them away to like, you know, Goodwill or something,
Yeah.
or Value Village or whatever, or sold them at a garage sale. And now I'm like, bro, that card could have been worth like a
Dude,
couple $100.
it's like everything you learn as a kid, like don't play video games. Like video games will never get you anywhere. Like don't, like, why are you spending all this money on cards? It's like that all has like so much value today. Like,
Seriously.
Yeah.
you could go be a professional gamer or start a YouTube channel and
Yeah.
sell cards.
That's
Yeah.
the life, man. I mean, I don't know. I can't remember his name. I just stumbled across him. He's like 16, Fortnite player. 16-year-old kid buying like Lambos, bro, from this
Yeah.
YouTube Fortnite videos. I'm like, God, I gotta
so
play some
sick.
damn Fortnite. Like,
Yeah, bro. Dude, and you know, this relates back to music. I'm sure you can probably relate, both of you guys can probably relate with artists that you've seen that, well, just for example, so for me, I used to make gaming videos all the time. Like every day I'd make a gaming video for like a year. And there was guys that I was like homies with. Like there's this guy named Melt. You can look him up on YouTube. Just type in Melt, and he's the first guy to pop up. He had like 200 subscribers for the longest time. He was like way less subs than me even, but we both made videos. I knew him, he knew me. And now he's at like 800,000 subscribers.
And he was just grinding.
And he's just never stopped. Like
Wow.
I stopped because I was like, oh, I don't think this is going to go anywhere. I don't like it that much anymore. But then I know like 3 or 4 guys like him who
kept
just
going.
didn't stop. And now he's like, you know, he's making a shit ton of
That's
money.
awesome.
And I'm sure you guys probably know of artists. I mean, you, Jerome, are kind of probably one of them to some people where it's like yeah, I knew this guy, 5 years ago when he was making music, and he just didn't stop, and now he's, now it's working out for
That's
him.
like what Russ is. Like Russ was doing nothing until he started doing the singles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just the old saying, what is it? It's a marathon, not a sprint, right? So you just you just keep going, and eventually it's going to happen. But that's so cool. I mean, that'd be sick. My dream is obviously successful music, but just have like that gaming channel on the side, that'd be awesome. So yeah, that's what I'm pushing for.
Yeah. Do you know of artists, like, are there any artists that you personally have followed on their come up or like listened to when they had like no listeners, and now you are like a fan, other than like Logic or someone huge?
I guess I could say Jack Harlow, if you count Dark Knight as like coming up, right? Because I was into that, and I checked out that project, and I literally listened to every one since. But I mean, I'm bumping the hell out of him. He's so dope. When he put out that mixtape with Sundown, from there I was like, oh, this he's next. But
what did you think of his new album that just came out?
It was sick. Me and my fiance listened to it, the whole thing, when we were driving somewhere the other day, and I mean, bangers.
Yeah,
I personally like his last mixtape the most out of everything, but I mean, everything he makes is awesome in my opinion.
Sweet Action, or the
one beside that. Confetti. It's got Warsaw, Rotten, Heavy Hitter. That song is insane. That song goes hard.
Sweet Action was the one after that, right?
Yeah, Sweet Action was like right after What's Poppin' blew up.
Okay, yeah.
That one goes hard too.
Yeah.
Too stylish. That one. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So Confetti was 2019. Confetti was the like right when he kind of sort of started to blow up, and then Sweet Action was like when he got pretty big.
Like Confetti set the groundwork so that What's Poppin' could get that reaction. But yeah, that's dope. There's a bunch of artists for me where I heard a song, like I heard Pull the Trigger, but I didn't look up who Russ was. Like, I was like, that's a cool song.
Wait, the artist I was on before anyone else was Post Malone.
Oh, really?
I was on Post Malone before White Iverson. Yep.
Damn.
That's what I'm taking. I'm talking, what's up with that? What's up? I was on that.
Damn, bro. That's pretty crazy because, like,
he's one of the, like, 5 biggest art. Like, there's very few people today that are.
GOAT.
He's one of, like,
GOAT
the 2,
status.
3. Like,
he's up there.
And
he's
it's like,
the man.
I felt like he went very quickly from like no one knew who he was to like after Congratulations.
Well, people didn't really take him serious at first, and then like very quickly he went from that to being like legend.
One of the biggest.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, well, the thing about his music is it's like universally loved. Like there is no genre you could put him in, right? Like everybody listen. It's kind of like Drake, Even my mom, who doesn't listen to rap, there's a few Drake songs. She's like. Like it's like the same thing for Post Malone, right? It's like, everybody will hear a song, or just, I don't know, everybody likes him. They could hear one song and it's not necessarily rap. It's just like a pop song, or, I mean, he's got even like, I guess, country rock or country. You could kind of say that's the genre that fits some of his songs, but he's so dope, dude. Good Lord.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, mine wasn't really related. I was gonna say,
mine wasn't either.
Does your mom like your music? Does she like? Will she listen to it when you release something?
She listens to everything, and at some points that's a bad thing. But she's always been supportive. I'll be sitting there cussing up a storm, talking about God knows what, and so especially my older music.
Yeah.
And she's just like, that's what the kids want to hear.
Gotta love a supportive mom.
Yeah, she's awesome.
That's dope. I think the one artist I can say I was early on, which is funny because Corday did a song with Adrian like early 2018
with his other name.
Yeah, when he was still like he went by Entendre, and then he switched, and then he joined YBN and became YBN Corday the same year.
Wow.
And so like you can look it up. Like there's a song like I think it's Not Going Out featuring Adrian Stresso by Entendre, and that's like the same year he put out Kung Fu, and like a year later nominated for Rap Album of the Year at the Grammys.
He's so dope. He reminds me of like J. Cole.
Yeah,
like it's just like dope. Like he bodies he like combines like lyricism with like something you could bump in the whip. You know, it's
Yeah.
like the perfect blend. He's got bars, dude.
A lot of
Yeah.
people try to do that, and he's one of the few guys I think that kind of combine those two sounds like the right way.
Yeah, I mean, like it slaps in the car, but if you really just listen to what he's saying, he's fucking murdering it.
Yeah.
Same with JID.
Right,
I mean, these
yeah.
guys are insane.
Yeah. So if you guys listening, if you guys didn't know that and you want a cool little Easter egg, just type in Entendre. All his music is still up there.
he's got like a mixtape that's on, I think maybe 2 mixtapes that are on like Spotify and Apple Music under Entendre, and that's Corday's music he was releasing before like he really jumped in and became like a huge artist. But yeah,
That's
Yeah.
crazy. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, it's been about an hour now, so we're going to wrap it up because we don't like to keep these too long. But Jerome the Prince, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. This was super cool.
Man, thank you so much for having me. This was awesome. I've been wanting to hop on this for a while. Y'all are awesome.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for having me again. That's all
Of
I can
course,
say.
bro.
This was sick. Great convo.
Before we leave, do you have any upcoming music other than, well, first of all, remind the people what the song is that just came out with Adrian, and then do you have any other stuff you can tease?
If you are listening, No Losses is out now. Go listen. Featuring my homie Adrian. It goes so hard. Check it out. And then starting January 1st, I think, I'm putting a new song out every other Friday for the whole year.
Wow.
So lock me in. Every 2 weeks, you got some new Jerome The Prince.
That's awesome,
So,
man.
here we go.
Grind, bro. Let's go.
Got to do it. Someone's got to do it.
Sweet. Well, where can the listeners follow you on social media and everything?
Everywhere. I'm at Jerome The Prince. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify now, thank God. Everything. I am just Jerome The Prince, and that's finally I can say that. So that's awesome.
Awesome. Cool. Well, Matt, where can they follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at @TheMattMog.
And you guys can follow me at Hey Narwhal on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And also check out our other podcast called Peak to Middle School, which is filmed with me and my buddy Kyle. It's a lot different than this show, but it's growing a lot, so check that out. But thank you again, Jerome. This was fun, and hopefully, maybe we can get you on again sometime later next year or something when there's a new project out or more songs out that we can talk about.
I'm just a text away.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys, there's new episodes every single Monday, and we'll see you guys next time.